Boris Johnson's uncompromising leadership of the Conservative Party was an instant contrast to the shambles associated with predecessor Theresa May, and it forced Ireland's then Taoiseach Leo Varadkar into his dramatic Brexit climbdown towards the end of last year, a former diplomat has said. After Mrs May tried and failed 3 times to get her withdrawal agreement through the Houses of Parliament, she resigned as Prime Minister on July 24, with newly elected Tory leader Mr Johnson replacing her. Ray Bassett, Ireland's former ambassador to Canada, Jamaica and the Bahamas, said Mr Johnson's arrival in No. 10 rapidly disabused Fine Gael leader Mr Varadkar and Deputy Simon Coveney, out of their assumption that a no-deal Brexit would never be permitted in Westminster. Writing in his new book, Ireland and the EU Post-Brexit, Mr Bassett highlighted what he argues is the folly of Ireland hitching its wagon to the backstop plan, a mechanism aimed at preventing a hard border between Ireland and Northern Ireland by tying the UK to some of the EU's rules and regulations indefinitely. He said, "Fortunately the Irish government, late in the day, realised that their strategy would not work and undertook a radical U-turn. Up to that point, the Irish Taoiseach Leo Varadkar had been a loyal son of Brussels, throughout the Brexit negotiations. In contrast among Brexiteers in Britain, Varadkar and his chief lieutenant Simon Coveney have shouldered much of the blame for the intransigence and arrogance which has been associated with the EU. Polls in the UK consistently showed that Varadkar was blamed by many for the long and frustrating impasse." Mr Bassett suggests Mr Varadkar and Mr Coveney had been happy to go along with such a perception, coupling it with a hefty dose of old-fashioned Anglophobia. He added, "Their tough stance and determined speeches sounded good and showed up remarkably well in comparison with the shambles and indecision of the Theresa May government. At the time there had been a widespread assumption in Dublin that Brexit would either be reversed, or Brino standing for Brexit in name only." He said, "The crushing defeats of Mrs May's withdrawal agreement in the House of Commons was the first wake-up call.